Hey, what's happening? This is your host, Tinto. And before we get started on this week's episode, I'd like to give a shout out to everybody that got me coffees, starting with you, Spakito. Thank you so much for your generous contribution, and your comment there reads, "Thank you for last week's episode and thank you for making my days." You are welcome. Then I got Miss B with 2 coffees. Thank you very much. Your comment there reads, "It was about time." Yes, I guess it was. And then, boy, Taku Villain. My goodness, 10 solid coffees. And your comment there reads, "Thank you so much for all the work you're doing, Tinto. This show has become a regular companion on my daily walks and a welcome avenue to just decompress from daily life. Shout out to the guest from episode 151. Thank you for sharing your story, Dito." VSJ, you are back again. Hey, thank you so much. And your comment there reads, "Here's to the road to 1 million, my friend. It's been one hell of a ride." You can say that again. If you'd like to give to the podcast in a similar way, please head over to www.buymeacoffee.com/ and give as your spirit leads. Remember, there is nothing too small to support the podcast that you've grown to love. With that out of the way, what you guys about to listen to? I swear, this is not a movie. But if it is a movie, please write down a movie title either in the comments on Spotify or in any social media platform that you catch this podcast on. Peace.
Is that a breakup? I think we have a situation right here. On the Feeling Station.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, welcome to the Feeling Station.
Thank you so much.
For those listening to the podcast for the first time, it's a romantic family and friendship breakup podcast showcasing stories that people would like to talk about with a view to give you lessons from their experiences. Now, I hope you find today's story entertaining, but more importantly, meaningful. And the podcast is really popular for 2 main reasons. And oh my goodness, I have such great news to share with you. I'll tell you probably on the intro that I record after this, but there's great stuff. And it's popular for 2 main reasons. One being I do my best to keep my guests anonymous, which brings me to the fun part. Are you ready for this, my friend?
Yes.
Right, the part that I give you the name that you're going to use for the duration of the episode.
Okay.
So I've gone down to beautiful Southern Africa and we are in Lesotho, right?
Wow.
And the name that I have for you is in Sotho, and the name is Lerato, which is Lerato.
Lerato.
Yeah,
wow,
that's
such a beautiful name. What does it mean?
Yeah, it's a beautiful name and it means love.
Wow.
Yeah, it means love. So I hope we're going to be talking about lovely stuff here. Stuff full of love.
Yeah. Of course.
And how that worked out for you. And what are you calling the name of the person that you are talking about today?
The name of the person that you're talking about today is Kantai.
Uh-huh.
Kantai the name comes from Kenya.
Oh, yeah. So Kantai, how do I spell that?
Kantai. It means like warrior.
It means warrior. Nice.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Interesting that you want to talk to me about a warrior.
No, it's just a random name.
Okay. Cool. So the story is about Lerato and Kantai. And the second reason why the podcast is really popular is there are real life lessons that people are going to take away from the story that you're going to share today. So what would you like someone who's listening to your episode to walk away with?
The first lesson is that a lot of problems in the world will disappear if we talk to each other instead of talking about each other or talking to us. It's talking.
Oh, okay. I like that. Do you have a second lesson?
Yes. The other one is refuse to internalize feelings that weren't yours to begin with.
Hey! They belong to somebody else. They were not yours.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, do you have a third lesson?
Yeah, I only have 3 lessons, but the other lesson someone can pick up them from the story. The third one is that we are most alive when we are in love.
Hey, and then when we're not in love, what are you saying? If somebody's not in love, they're dead. What are you saying? And well, I mean, I guess your name means love, yeah? But jeez, to say we're most alive when we're in love. What if there's no love? Then what? Somebody feels dead.
No, they don't feel that. The key word is that we are most alive when we're in love.
Okay. I get that. So I'll just play
Yeah,
those lessons.
And the last one, I've just remembered that life is worth living for yourself and not for anyone else.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. So can I play these back for you?
Yeah.
So lesson number 1, a lot of the problems in the world will disappear if we talk to each other instead of talking about each other or talking at each other.
Yeah.
And then number 2, refuse to internalize feelings that weren't yours to begin with. Number 3,
Yes.
we're most alive when we are in love. And number 4, life is for living for yourself and nobody else.
Yeah.
Cool. Lerato, let's get into it now. Tell me, how did you and Kantai meet?
Kantai and I met in 2016.
Yeah.
We met in college. In college, there are these like hostels, and he was like coming from his then girlfriend's room, and I was coming from my then boyfriend's room, and we met at the lounge area. So he was like leaving, and I was leaving, and we met at the lounge area. That was the first time we actually met.
What were you doing in your boyfriend's room? When you just left, what were you doing there?
I had gone to I think I had like spent the day the whole day there. So it was around 4 p.m. and I was just leaving to go to my house, and Kantai was leaving his girlfriend's room to go to his house, and we met at the lounge area. I can't remember what he was waiting for.
You guys. Anyway, continue.
At that point, he didn't know that I had just left my boyfriend's room, and I didn't know he had left his
girlfriend's room. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and it was like love at first sight.
Wait a minute, right? I'm sorry if I'm reading too much into this. But if I've just left my girlfriend's room and I'm assuming you spent the whole day there too, it's highly unlikely I would have been reading a book or singing songs. There would have been some nice activities, yeah? And
definitely,
and because they were so nice, if I'm coming out and I've literally just left, I'm not going to be falling in love with someone else immediately at first sight.
I don't know. It was like we just liked each other for the first time we saw each other. But that was the first time we actually met. We were both in first year in university. We were both 17.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Then we exchanged contacts, but I lost my phone immediately after that, so we never spoke. But I made another friend. The friend was mutual friends with his friend. So Kantai went to school with another boy who was in the same campus with us, and they were staying together. And so this girl, let's call her Grace. Grace was a mutual friend to Kantai. So she kept mentioning, I'm going to Kantai's place, I'm going to Kantai's place. So I used to wonder if there's another Kantai. Apparently, it was the same Kantai that I had met at the launch area.
Sorry, I've got a small brain. Sometimes it takes long to process things. So you've left your ex-boyfriend's room. He's left his ex-girlfriend's room. You meet in the lobby of the lodge, and at that point, you guys exchange numbers. At that point,
yes.
Okay. Anyway, you lost contact. You reconnected because this is the same Kantai. I'm assuming you asked for the phone number.
No, I did not ask for the phone number. So the next time we reconnected, the first time we met was in September. The next time we reconnected was in December. We were both going for an exam.
Yeah.
Like 2 different halls next to each other, and we met at the corridor. So he was like, I gave you my phone number. I've been calling your number. It's not been going through. Why did you give me a wrong number? And I told him, no, I did not give you a wrong number. I just lost my phone, and I've not been keen to like get another phone.
One, yeah.
So at that point, I told him where I stay, so that if he needs to see me, he can come to where I stay.
To see you for what? Lerato? I'm not sure which breakup story you should be talking about here, because you already have a boyfriend. So why are you telling another man to come and see where you stay?
It was just like love at first sight. At that point, I was not thinking about the other boyfriend.
Why?
I don't know.
What was wrong with the other boyfriend?
There was nothing wrong with him, but I used to feel he was a DJ,
Uh-huh.
but he was also very reserved. Kantai was very outgoing and very funny,
Right.
and I like funny guys.
Okay. Right. Well, it sounds
Yeah.
like you're about to get yourself in a funny situation right now. Okay, fine. So you sure can tie, where you live. Then what happens?
Yeah. So he used to visit me where I live, and we became really close. We became friends. And unfortunately, after that semester, we were in like the main campus of the university. So their school, he was in the School of Business. It was transferred to town campus, like a satellite campus.
Yeah.
So he had to move from main campus to town campus, and I remained in the main campus. So anytime I'd want to like see him, I'd have to go to town, or he would have to come to main campus to see me, which was like an hour away.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, we had not started dating yet, and he didn't know about my boyfriend, and I didn't know about his girlfriend. But a coincidence is that his girlfriend then was my classmate, and she was my friend, but I didn't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know they were like dating. Because we just never spoke about like the dating bit of us. So at this particular point, I was already planning to like break up with my boyfriend then, because I really wanted to be with Kantai.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And also my boyfriend then had like, he was in the same school with Kantai, so they had all gone to town campus.
Oh yeah, the satellite campus. Yeah.
Yeah, so anytime I'd go to town, I was not going to see him. I was going to see Kantai at his house.
Jeez.
And they live like almost like 500 meters away from each other. But I'd go and spend the whole weekend at Kantai's house.
Anyway, go on.
Yeah, so we really like started getting really close with Kantai. That was from 2017 up until 2018. And when we had gone for like our long holidays after school, our long holidays here is like 4 months, and then you can resume another trimester.
Yeah.
So during the long holidays in December, exactly December 27th, he asked me to be his girlfriend.
And you said?
Yes. What are you expecting? No.
I'm expecting you to say no, because you still had your ex-boyfriend at the time that you were planning to break up with, unless in December you had broken up with him now.
No, we had not broken up, but I said yes because I knew I was planning to break up with him.
Wow.
Yeah. I had like already thought about it for like 6 months or 7 months. So I knew it's definitely going to happen, but I just didn't know how to break up with him.
Wow. So if you're planning for 7 months and you don't know the how, what was involved in the planning for 7 months?
I used to see like the reasons why I will break up with him. We didn't have like fights or anything, but I just see the reasons, like he's not very thoughtful. You see, when you want to break up with someone, you always start noticing tiny things, the things that you wouldn't see before. So I started seeing those things.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anytime I'd feel like I need to break up with him, but I feel like the reason is not good enough. I was always looking for a reason, but all the reasons I have, they're not good enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before you became official with Kantai, had you guys already started sleeping with each other?
No, we were not sleeping with each other yet.
How come?
Well, I was still like with my ex-boyfriend, but I was not telling Kantai. So I told him, I just don't sleep with people if we are not like officially dating.
Okay.
We have to start dating before we start being intimate.
Okay. And all right. Anyway, go on. So yes, he officially asked you on the 27th of December.
Yeah, that was in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
So from 27th December in 2018, we like officially started dating. So it was December. I was at my rural home celebrating Christmas and New Year's, and he was at his rural home also celebrating Christmas. So immediately after that, we were supposed to like travel back to school, which was another town. So I think the first week of January, I traveled and I needed to like look for a house and move into another house. So I traveled and looked for a house. So he came the end of that week and he came to my house. And that was like the first time we got intimate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, cool. Because now he's officially asked you to be his girlfriend. Cool. Yes.
Yeah. Now, the first weekend that he came to my house, I have like a lot of, not very many friends, like girlfriends, but I have very many friends who are boys because I did physics. So my classmates, most of them are men.
Oh, yeah. Oh, because of your area of study is physics. Okay, fine. Yeah.
So there's this guy, he's called Isaac. He was a bodybuilder in our class and he came to like, get notes from my house. So when he came there, he found Kantai. And Kantai thought that was like my ex-boyfriend.
And he panicked because there's a muscular guy in the building.
Yeah.
Was Kantai a muscly guy too?
No, he was not.
Okay. Hey.
So, Isaac was like a bodybuilder. So he was really huge and really tall and masculine. So when he came to the house, and he used to be very quiet. So when he came, he was quiet and not saying anything. And that's what I was like, I came to like ask you for the notes. So Kantai thought, this is my ex-boyfriend and he wants to beat him up.
You got a man shitting his pants in your house. Jeez.
So he excused himself and was like, I need to go and visit. Remember Grace and her friends who are mutual friends with Kantai?
Yeah.
They used also to live where they remained in main campus because they were in the School of Engineering. So they lived next to where I lived. So he was like, I'm going to visit Ronnie. I'll be back later.
So he's going to go visit Grace out of fear. This guy is meant to be your rock and your foundation. But the sight of another man is out. Jeez. If I were you, hey, I like your first lesson. It says a lot of problems in the world disappear. Well, he disappeared very quickly, didn't he? Anyway, okay. So he left.
He left. And he came back at around like 4 p.m. That was like around 8 a.m. in the morning. He came back at around 4 p.m.
You have to stop. You're killing me. You're killing me. So, okay, let's assume Isaac was actually your ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
He's just given a man all of the eight whole hours to do whatever he wants with you. My gosh.
He was really scared. He was actually really scared.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So he comes back. I mean, but does he text you to find out if you're alone before he came back, or he just turned up?
Yes, he did. He actually like came back and got to the gate and asked me, "Did Isaac leave?" And I was like, "Yes."
Okay. Yes.
And so I told him like, yes, he left. So he came in. But at that point, he was really scared, and he kept like asking me, "Was that your ex-boyfriend?" And I told him, "No, that's my classmate.
Yeah.
We are in the physics class together, and he just needed notes. That's why he's here."
Yeah.
And he actually like left less than 5 minutes after Kantai had left.
Yeah, because he just wanted notes, right? So
yeah. So he was really scared. Now, after that, he went back to town because he also needed to get a place to stay. Here, when you go for a long holiday, you stop like renting out your house, so you move out, and then when you come back, you get another house. Yeah. So he needed to like get another house. So he went to town to like get another house, then traveled back to his hometown because his family, they are like large scale farmers of wheat, and he was helping out his dad like plant wheat and harvest and sell the wheat. He was like a real farmer boy.
Okay.
How do you call them?
I don't know, if I'm a boy, I guess. Yeah.
Like a real farmer. Yeah. And that's one of the things that I liked about him, that he'd get his hands dirty. It didn't matter.
You like boys to get their hands dirty, yeah? Yes, anyway, yes, continue.
Yeah. So he traveled back to his hometown, but anytime he'd go to his hometown, I'd text him. The communication was not very constant, but we'd still talk like every day. From the time we started dating, 2018 until March 2021 when we broke up, we have never even like a day has passed when we've not spoken several times. So he'd still talk to me, but not as frequent as when he was in the town that we were in together.
Is it because he had poor signal, or what was the reason?
No, the signal was okay, but he kept telling me, like, I've gone to the farm, I've gone out with my friends. So I actually didn't believe him. I think it was true, but at that point, I had my own insecurities, so I didn't believe him.
Why?
I just felt like he's cheating, or maybe it's like with another girl.
Had you been cheated on by your ex before?
No, he did not. I'm the one who cheated on him. So I was just projecting my insecurities.
Oh, you're the one who cheated on him with Kantai? Okay.
Yeah,
So,
I believe cheating it's not even sexual, but even the emotional attachment with him before I ended the other relationship, that was cheating.
Okay. When did you end the other one, by the way?
Now, the other one ended in August.
In August of which year?
In 2019.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, 8 months later after I started dating Kantai.
So you're having sex with two boys?
At between January and August, I stopped visiting my ex-boyfriend. So we just talk on phone, and anytime he'd want, because Kantai was coming to my house almost every other week, he'd travel and come to my house. So I didn't even have time to spend with him.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And so at the point where the relationship was ending, my ex-boyfriend traveled to come and visit me because he was like really concerned. Why is it that you never have time to come and visit me? Yet we just live 1 hour away. So while I was asleep, he unlocked my phone.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah. And like found out, like I don't delete chats and everything. So he found like all the chats from the time we met with Kantai, everything. Like he went through everything, the whole night.
Wow.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking.
What did he say in the morning?
He was very upset. And when I woke up in the morning, he was ready to leave at 6 a.m.
Jeez.
And I understand.
I won't even go into the details of that.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about Kantai. Was Kantai still with his girlfriend at the time?
No.
When did they break up?
They broke up around 5 months before we started dating.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you know why?
No, I don't know why.
Okay.
But when we started dating with Kantai, that's when I found out that his ex-girlfriend was actually in my class and she was my friend.
Okay.
Yeah. So at that particular point, because me and this girl were really close, so I went and asked her, are you and Kantai still dating? And she told me, no, we are not dating. And she saw the pictures of Kantai and she was like, I'm really happy for you. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kantai is actually a really good person.
If you are so good, why isn't he with this? Oh, well, okay, you said you don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just a bit funny that you say she's a really good friend, but one, you
Yeah.
didn't know she was dating Kantai, and then when you eventually found out, you didn't know why she left. So I guess she was only as good as...
I think they were like not really, really like dating, but not that close because this girl, she's still my friend up to this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the time when they broke up, she started dating someone else. So I didn't really want to ask the details.
Right. Okay. Well, let's. It's just a very, just a very intricate web. But anyway, you say that Kantai was now at the farm. He's busy working. He's not really in touch, and your insecurities were kicking in to say that. Okay, you're not really sure.
Yeah.
Right. So do you want to? Just continue from there.
Yeah, so the relationship continued. It was really okay. At some point, we had like pregnancy scares, but it was not actually like I was not pregnant.
What, you missed your period?
Yeah,
For how long?
for like 4 weeks, and I thought like I was pregnant. Yes.
Yeah.
And it was very, very supportive. Now, one thing, I have like things that I used to think, or things that, like, for example, I didn't want children. With my ex-boyfriend, I was very, very sure, and I told him that I don't want to have children. I don't like children, things like those. But with Kantai, we even planned of going to his hometown and visit his parents. We were even thinking of starting a family together, and I was very ready to have a family with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So, Kantai, I remember the trips to his hometown. So at some point after we broke up is when I realized like he had another relationship. It might not have been like an actual relationship. They were friends, they were really close, but just before we broke up, they started dating. So the exact thing that I did with my ex-boyfriend is the exact thing that he did
happened with someone else.
Yeah.
And was this person in the same town where his hometown?
Hometown.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah. So I guess I know you say that you had insecurities and you felt he's not really available because he might have been doing something. It turns out he was.
Yeah.
Because there's the whole debate about physical versus emotional cheating, isn't there?
Yeah.
And people don't know which one is worse. But it looks like the effect is the same because emotional usually leads to the physical one, right?
Yeah.
So how did you find this out?
I actually found out that after we broke up.
After you broke up?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm guessing you're going to tell me why you broke up. You're going to give me the stuff that led to your breakup.
Yes.
Okay, go for it.
So me and Kantai, we are now like 2 years into our relationship. We are planning like settling down because we are finishing school. So we are like, when you finish school in April, we are going to your hometown to visit your parents, and then you can come to my hometown and visit my parents, and you can make everything official and settle down and start a family.
Mm-hmm.
So we are really, really, I remember the whole period when we were dating, we never had a fight. Mm-hmm. We never like argued. There was never a sad day between us. Like all the days were happy days.
Did that bother you that you had happy days all the time?
No, it did not.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
It did not bother me at all. And another thing about the relationship, I was really secure in this relationship. I never checked his phone, not even a single day. Yeah, I was 100% sure that he loves me and he's with me. So I was really secure with him and I felt like really safe with him.
You're confusing me a little bit though.
Yes.
On one end, you say that he's away, he's not calling as much, your insecurities are kicking in, you think he's cheating, and then now you feel very secure.
as much as I was thinking that he's cheating, it didn't bother me to the point that I'm feeling like I'm not secure with him. I had the thought that he might be cheating, but I didn't know if he's actually cheating. It's just a thought, because when he's in the town that we are in with, he could be talking like the whole day. He texts me like every hour, he calls in between. But when he goes to his hometown, he can be calling like every 3 hours, or maybe like he calls in the evening or very early in the morning or in between the day, and not text as much.
Right.
So you see the disparity.
Okay.
But since I can't like prove if he's cheating, I just think maybe he's like with someone else, or maybe he's on the farm. Yeah.
You could have gone into his phone and you could have got the answers.
Now that's the thing. I really trusted him, but even though I felt like when he travels to his hometown, that bit, when he comes, he would compensate for that and I'd forget.
Okay. All right. Okay. Let's leave it there.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Cool. Go on.
So so I'm actually like I'm very reserved, like an introvert, like really, really an introvert. So in Kantai is an extrovert, and he had like a lot of friends. So it got to a point where I'd stay more time at his house and his friends, and they'd like be smoking weed and drinking alcohol, and like, Kantai's girlfriend is here. She doesn't do that, so don't make noise for her. So I just stay in his room, and he'd do anything he wants with his friends. They'd go out and he'd come back. And at that point, his family, who lived in the town where we were in, he'd already like introduced me to those family members in that town. So the only person that he had not introduced me to was his mom and his dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I was like really convinced that we are like in the process of like going to start a family.
Yeah.
Now, you see, at this particular point where you feel like you're really going to start a family with this person, there are no talking stages. There's nothing. It's just you and this person. Like literally, I was not talking to anyone. I was very loyal to him. So it was just me and him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So remember my friend Grace?
Yes.
Yeah, so Grace had a house and she had traveled to her hometown, and she asked me to go and check if her house is okay. So when I came to Kantai's place, I came with her house keys. So I left Kantai's house and went to her Grace's house to check if the house was okay.
Mm-hmm.
But Kantai felt I had gone to see another man.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Before leaving the house, I asked him, do you want us to go together? And he was like, no, you can just go. So when I went there and came back, his face had changed. So I asked him, what is it? Why are you upset? And he was like, no, I'm fine. So I brushed it off because we had never had bad days. So I just felt maybe it's something personal, because we also having like family issues with his dad. His dad had like at that point disowned him because he was not listening to him. So, you know, he comes from a community where it's very patriarchal, and if you don't listen to your dad, it's like really bad.
Yeah.
So his dad has like disowned him, and he was like going through a tough time. So at that particular point, I was like supporting him fully, because he was not receiving any support from his family. Yeah. Now, so I come from Grace's house. I come to his house and pack up my things and go to my house. Now, when I get to my house, that was like in January. So from January to March, we are like talking every day. We meet up in between because we're in the same town. So I actually, at this point, I didn't have any pregnancy scare or anything. I didn't even know like I was pregnant. Yeah. So March, COVID comes. In March 2021, COVID comes. And I am like texting him. He's offline. I call him. He's like offline. His phone is off. I can't reach him. I call his cousin. He doesn't know where he is. That goes on for the first day, the second day. And I was really concerned. We've never, not even a single day, we've gone without like talking.
Yeah, correct.
He tells me like if his phone has issues, and also I know his house. I go to his house and he's not there. And this is day 2. I literally post in a prayer group. I was in a prayer group. I posted a prayer group for those ladies to like pray for him because it's COVID has just started. I don't know where he is.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness, yeah. And people were people were dying.
Yeah.
Quite quickly too.
Yeah.
Okay, so I see how the concern could have come for you to say, what's happening.
I literally went to the police to like report a missing person because it's now day 3 and I've not seen him. No one has heard from him. He's not replying to messages. And this goes on for like 5 days. And on day 5, he comes back online and is like, I need time. What do you mean you need time? I've been praying for you and I was at the police station. Everyone is looking for you. And it's like, stop creating a fuss. Like, I'd never seen this side of him, literally. I'd never seen this side of him. So I get over that. And so that was like 5 days. He comes back into town. Now, I get over that and I ask him, are we having any issue? He says, no. Do we have a problem? He says, no. I'm like, okay, fine. I won't like pressure you to tell me what's going on. I'll give you time. So I give him time. We don't talk as much that week after he comes. Now, that was like the start of the downfall. There's nothing much in between, and the happy times is from the downfall in March. So we don't talk a lot. And at that point, you can always feel when the relationship is coming to an end. So I try as much as possible to like inquire what exactly is wrong. Is there anything that I can do? Like, I really try as much. Like, I'm even like asking for forgiveness for something that I don't even know like what I did. Yeah. And like, this person is like completely emotionally unavailable. He doesn't answer texts. He doesn't pick calls. He doesn't do anything like the way we used to do. We had a routine already. We talk every day. We are always happy. We've never had bad days. So this whole thing that's going on is very strange to me. I don't understand where we are. Yeah. So that was in March. So it goes on like that until end of April. That's like almost 6 weeks later.
Wow.
Is when he tells me, do you remember in January when you told me you're going to your friend
to Grace's house? Yeah.
Yeah. I think you went to see a man and I think you're cheating on me. From January to end of April, he's been angry at that thing for all those months.
Wow.
And he says that he didn't want to tell me about it because he felt he could get over it, but he couldn't get past that.
Yeah.
So in March, when he like disappeared, it was really weighing him down. He couldn't he didn't like expect that from me. But I was not cheating. I'd gone to like Grace's house, but to him, there's nothing that can convince him otherwise that I had gone to Grace's house because I didn't go with him.
I mean, but you offered him to come and he said no.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Wow. So he felt I went to see another man, and that was the reason why, and he couldn't get past that. And I gave him all the evidence. I even asked Grace to like tell him, but he couldn't listen. So that was that. At this point in April, when things are ending, another girl calls me. And she's like, you need, at that point, I'm really heartbroken. And I'm like telling him, okay, at that point I was pregnant. So I'm like, I don't want this relationship to end because I've never imagined like raising my child like in a separate household.
So you've had a pregnancy scare and then you've had a real pregnancy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Now the real pregnancy, I didn't know I was actually pregnant until because I think it was 14, but I thought it was period. It's just that, and then after that, now in April is when like I went to the hospital. I was really sick, and they're like, "You're pregnant."
Yeah.
And it's that April, so I was like really waiting until like things get better because I was very hopeful that things are going to get better. So I was waiting until things get better. Then I tell him. Yeah, so this other girl, Doliana, calls me and tells me, you need to stop calling my man. So in March, when he disappeared,
She rings your phone
Yeah.
and randomly says, "You gotta stop calling my man."
Yeah.
And how far into your pregnancy were you?
3 months.
Jesu. Okay. Yeah.
So in March, when he disappeared, he had gone to Doliana's place.
And yet he's busy telling you, "Hey, it's because I thought you'd gone to go see another." He just needed an Do you know what this is sounding a lot like?
Yeah.
The time when you couldn't find a reason to tell your ex that I want to let you go for me to be with someone else. Every reason you tried to look for was never good enough.
Yeah.
And with your man now, he didn't have a reason good enough. That's why he pinned down the excuse of you going to somebody's house so that he can do his business and his nonsense in between.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So I was really heartbroken. And at that point, when he found out that Doliana called me, he was really upset with her. I don't know how true that is, but that's what he told me. And so he called me and he told me, like, I want us to try and make up and come back, like get back together so that we could like raise our family together. I still love you.
Because now you've told him you're pregnant.
Yeah.
Right.
But please note that Doliana had just given birth like a month.
To whose baby?
His baby. His baby.
You people are gonna give me heart attacks. What the actual hell?
His baby.
Meaning, if you trace back 9 months,
yeah,
this girl has always been in the picture.
Yeah, she's always been there.
Wow.
So at that point when we had broken up is when 1 + 1 started making sense. All the trips to his hometown. Yes, he was going to his hometown, but this girl had always been there.
So I guess your emotional radar and sensor was not really off. It wasn't just your insecurities. I mean, there were some insecurities because you knew what you had done in the past, you know, and it's, I think it's fairly natural to feel that way.
Yeah.
But they were also, very real.
Yeah.
Something in your spirit and in your soul was right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Hey. Anyway, continue. I am enjoying this.
So at that point, they have a 1-month-old baby and they're just fresh from breaking up. So at that particular point, I'm like really, really upset and I'm just trying to get him back. I really wanted him to come back. I didn't care about the other baby.
So wait, so this breakup was a bit unclear. So at the point that he said, I was upset that you went to Grace's house and you met another man, that's when he broke it off with you?
Yeah.
Okay, right, yeah.
Yeah. So at that point, I was actually really ready to like step up and be a stepmother to this baby that was born in our relationship.
Oh, wow.
Because I wanted him, like I really wanted him to like come back.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I had like lost a sense of myself and I didn't mind what happens. I just wanted him to come back. So he comes back to our town and I go meet him at his house and we have sex. Remember that I'm pregnant. And he's still with the other lady and I knew he's still with the other lady.
And he knows that you're pregnant?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, Shayvan. Hey. Yeah, okay. Hey.
Now, us being intimate gave me hope that we are actually like getting back together because it told me I just need to fix a few things. But I was like, when you're breaking up with me, you didn't give me that grace. So why is it that you're giving her the grace of giving her time so that things can wear off? You didn't give me that time.
Right.
Why is this? So I took things into my own hands and I sent her the pictures, I sent her the text, and I called her.
Of what? You sent her the pictures of what?
Us together.
In that moment.
Yes.
My days.
I know. It's so bad. I just wanted my man back. So this upset him, and it made him really upset, and was like, okay, that's the breaking point. I had thought about getting back with you, but at this point, no.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because you've exposed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some messed up manipulation right there, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
On so many levels, because for starters, he knew that you were into him, so he knew you'd be willing to give him sex. He came and he got some of that, and then now it's the exposure that he's being unfaithful, and he was probably selling the story to say that you are nothing to his, to his woman. That no, don't worry about it, she's nothing. And then there you go, and you Lerato, go and prove that no, you guys actually are something.
Yeah.
So the only way out is to shift blame away from himself and point it in your direction, and now say, I'm really upset about this.
Yeah, and he blocks me everywhere and stops texting me, and so I was like, I get depressed after that, because now I don't have him, I can't talk to him, I can't get to him, and I get really close with his cousin. His cousin had a shop in that town. Yeah. So it's his cousin who would update me of what's going on in his life. Because as much as we had broken up, I still cared about him. And I was really worried about him, because remember that he's not in good terms with his family at that point, his dad, because his dad had disowned him. So I was really concerned how he is, his mental health, and if he's okay. I was really, really concerned. I don't know if it's a point of being concerned because I'm just concerned, or being concerned because I still wanted him. Yeah.
What was attractive about him, though, knowing that he's got another woman and another child? But what was it?
I actually don't know what was taking me back. But remember that I said he's when I started, I said he's a good person. But now talking about it, I see how messed up it is. But you see, during the period of our relationship, I only got the side of him that was really kind to me and everything. And I didn't have that growing up. And he was authoritative, like a father figure, something like that. I didn't have that growing up. So
when you say that you didn't have a father figure?
My father was present, but also absent. Okay. You never see him, and you just don't feel the authority of a father in a house.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Kantai had that.
Wow.
And
okay.
Yeah, he had that. And that's what kept me going back to him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so he gets upset. He's angry that you sent all of this stuff. What happens next?
So I was really stressed, and I think with the COVID and lockdown and you're at home, it really got into my head, and I have a miscarriage.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm sorry about that, man.
Yeah, so I text him about the miscarriage. At this point, he had unblocked. Unfortunately, Juliana, who read the message, and when she read the message, sent me a message in our language, Mama Marehemu, mother of the dead.
Oh my days. That's how she referred to you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And it really broke me. And I couldn't believe it. Now, at some point, just before, between March and April, my mom passed away.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. And Kantai, just around January, his friend's mom had died, and he did everything in his capacity to go and support the friend. He had always done that for all his friends. And at that point, when my mom died, the least he could have done was even like call me and like ask.
Yeah. Like how are you holding up?
Yeah.
Mm.
But he didn't.
He didn't at all. Not even one phone call.
Not even a text.
Sure.
And I was really broken. This someone you've been with for 2 years and not even a text. And now immediately after that, in June, I'm like losing the baby. And his current girlfriend is calling me mother of the dead.
Jeez.
Yeah. And I called him and like I told him, why do you give that girl so much power to insult me?
Yeah.
And despite whatever we've been through, the least you can do is protect me.
Mm.
And he tries defending her. And I told that is really wrong. So I cut all communication with him. From then, I cut the communication and like go through, I see a therapist and get into another relationship, even though I still like missed him a lot. I don't know what I miss about him, but I really missed him a lot.
How soon was this that you got into another relationship? Because you broke up in what, April, May?
In April, I lost the baby in June.
Yeah.
In September, I was in another relationship.
3 months. Ish.
Yeah.
Were you doing this to mask the pain, from the loss of mom, from the loss of the babies, from the loss of the relationship? You needed you needed a sense of belonging to something or someone. And it was this. Wow.
So I joined Tinder in August. August, the last week of August. And the first day when I joined Tinder, I matched with this guy. He was a journalist. I didn't know him at that particular point, but he was like a big shot journalist here. So when we spoke on Tinder and we exchanged numbers, and the next day I traveled to go and see him where he stayed.
Yeah.
So I moved into his house immediately. Like after that, I think we moved in immediately. I think I was seeking like a sense of belonging and also just trying to mask the pain away because I was still like feeling that pain of losing the baby, of losing my mom, of losing Kantai. I'm just going through a lot of loss.
When you say moved in, what do you mean? Like
I started living with him immediately.
Jeez. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If there wasn't all of this hurt, it would be easy to say, girl, what were you thinking? But, I can relate. You had significant losses, and sometimes judgment can be a little clouded by the sorrow and the grief that you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And even in between me living with him, I'd still try and contact Kantai to just like see if we can still get back together.
And that wasn't happening, was it?
Yeah, that was not happening. So at some point, I stopped reaching out completely to him. And this new relationship ended in December that same year. So it was a very short relationship between September and December. So I decided to get a therapist, move to another town, get another job. So I did this and I moved to another town. I got another job. So Kantai reaches out to me at some point the following year around May and tells me, I'm really sorry for what we went through. I know I could have done things differently and I'm truly sorry. And one specific thing that he apologized for was the behavior of Doliana towards me. And he acknowledged that was wrong, and he acknowledged his part, how he played, the role he played into her doing that to me. And he said that he's really sorry. And I was like, okay, it's fine. And he says he feels like we should get together.
I'm very keen to hear what you said.
I said yes, but after we meet in person and we speak about whatever had happened and we get over that first, then we can get back together.
So you wanted some closure?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, I had moved across the country to a coastal town.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to get a 2-hour flight to his town. So we agree on a weekend, on a Saturday. So I got the
So I got a question about that because it's been playing at the back of my mind and I don't think I can hold it anymore.
Yeah.
Right? When you met Kantai, you went over to his place first.
yeah.
When you met this journalist, you went to his place first.
Yeah.
Now you're about to have this very serious conversation. You're about to make that first move.
Yeah.
For me as a guy, that's always been problematic. And people within my close circle know this very well. Friends, family, that I don't believe a woman should be the first to make any move for anything.
Yeah.
Because there are some men out there who, if they notice that you're willing to make all of these big moves, they just don't lift a finger. They don't make the effort.
Yeah.
So, do you know why you always made the first move? Is it the guys who are not doing it, so you felt you needed to do it, or you felt you needed to do it to secure what you wanted? You felt this was a way of securing what you want.
I actually don't know. Now that you've mentioned it, I can see like it's a pattern because even with the current,
Even with the current. Okay, I want to focus. Even with the current, what did you do? Were you the first
I
to?
moved here.
You moved what, from the coastal town?
Yes. Remember when I moved last month?
I remember you told me when you're moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, we live together now.
Lerad, my guy. Hi. I remember you hinted you were in love when we were just chatting and setting this up. Hey, okay, yeah, right.
I'm like in his house.
Is that his picture?
Yeah.
Anyway, look, I'm not going to say what I wanted to say. Let me just say I've observed this is something, and honestly speaking, within my friendship circles, whenever that has been the instance, it never ends well. Right? Because men want to feel like they've put in the effort towards something. It makes it something more valuable. I don't know whether this is a fact. I'm just talking, even from personal experience myself. Whenever there's something I've not, actively pursued, I've not felt the need to put in as much effort as I want to and protect it as much as I need to because I know what I've invested into it.
Yeah.
So it's just an observation. You don't need to take anything away from it. It's just something I noticed. So anyway, okay. You're gonna book the flight to go and have this serious conversation. Okay, and that happens. How did that go?
I told him, so I'll book the flight to his town. My hometown is just an hour away from his town where he lived at that particular time. So I get to that town. We were to meet at 4 p.m. And then at 5 p.m., I head home, not to his house. So I get to that town. I'm calling him and calling him and calling him. He doesn't speak. It's raining. I don't know where he lives at that particular point because he had moved again. So I'm just like in town waiting for him and calling him, and he's not speaking. It's 7 p.m.
Did you say it was a 2-hour flight? How long was the flight?
2 hours.
2 hours. Jeez. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I decide to head home, which is like an hour away from that town. So I head home and he texts me the next day, I'm so sorry, I blacked out. That's why you couldn't meet. And I'm like, okay. So he tells me, when you're coming back from your hometown, your parents' home, could you please pass by my house? And I make up for that. And I'm like, okay.
Okay.
I know. I know how bad that is.
Yeah, well, it's not bad. It's an action that needed to happen, right? So let's take it that way.
His house, and we get intimate again. We don't talk about anything.
Stand on business. Focus, Lerato. Focus. Hey. Was the sex that good?
Yes, it was. Very.
So the way you say that also. Yeah. Okay.
It
So
was,
so there's an element of digmatization in this whole
yeah,
process. That's
yeah.
clouding judgment. Okay. So you didn't have that serious conversation at all.
We did not at all.
And at this point, is he still with Doliana?
No,
No.
they
Okay.
had broken up.
Okay.
But that day, when I went to see him, I noticed he had like tattooed Doliana's name here on his neck,
Yeah.
like the collarbone, like a big name from here to here.
Like a real tattoo or just one of these fake
Yeah,
ones?
like a real tattoo. No,
Yay.
no.
Okay.
But he tells me it's nothing. He is like looking, it was like a high, and he's looking for something to like cover up the tattoo. So I'm
Right.
like, okay, it's fine. So I leave his house that day and head to like, remember that he was still in the town where our university was, and was supposed to pick my degree certificate. So I go to pick my degree certificate and I forgot my smartwatch in his house. So I'm like texting him, I've forgotten my smartwatch in your house. I'll pass by the next day in the morning and pick it up. And I was like, okay. The next day in the morning, I head to his house and I'm like calling him and he's not picking up. So I get there, I'm like at the gates. Thank God his other friend is coming to visit him. So he has the key to the gate. He opens the gate because I've been calling him like 50 times and he's not picking up. He opens the gate, we go to his house, and he's like locked himself inside the house. So I'm like, I just need my smartwatch. I don't even want to know what's going on with you. I don't want to have this drama in conversation. I just want my smartwatch and leave. And he gives me the smartwatch through the window. And the friend tells me that she's been like depressed and is going through a hard time. So sometimes that happens. He like goes through the highs and the lows. And when it's the lows, he like locks himself in the house and he doesn't talk to people. He doesn't eat for even a week. That's why the friend was coming to see him. Yeah.
But what was he depressed about?
Remember his dad had disowned him. We had finished college. I had graduated, but he had not graduated because now when he got with Doliana, he stopped like coming to class. He stopped checking exams. So there was just a lot of things going on with him.
Okay. But he has time to have sex.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. So after that, I go back to Mombasa. And I go back to Mombasa and like go back to my job. And we are talking, like sometimes we talk from time to time. And he moves now to Nairobi. He gets saved. He gets like saved.
And he gets what?
Saved. Like he get like, I don't know how to describe it. Like
he goes to the church and he finds God.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Like he gets saved. So I remember that I was living in Mombasa. So I come to Nairobi from time to time. So every time I come, like now at that particular point, which is last year in 2023, we are talking and we are looking at like getting back together. I know.
Well, hey, oh man. Okay, but this point, how many years has it been since Kantai has been in the picture?
Since 2018.
19, 20, 21, 22. This is 23. So 5 years in.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's like he's been in the picture actively, but I've known him since 2016. Yeah. So I come to Nairobi and he's like moved to Nairobi. He has a house here. He did not graduate, but he's like very entrepreneurial and he has his business and he has his thing going on. He's stabilized. So I'm like, okay, things are looking really good. And he's like asking if we can start over a new leaf. I'm like, okay, we can give this a new chance. It was good while it lasted.
Wow. Okay.
And so I come last year, December in 2023, I go to his house again, as usual.
Okay. How many times did he ever go to your house?
Him coming to my house.
Yeah.
When we lived in the same town, he used to come to my house.
Okay.
But now when we live in different towns, I'm the one who's usually like going to his house.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wish I had the skills to probe that. I don't. It's just something that is, you know, quite in your face that you're making,
Yeah.
you know, most of the effort to go there. Okay.
Yeah.
But would they at least pay for you to come?
Yeah, he does.
Okay, right. Okay.
Yeah. He does. When he has money, he like gives me the tickets and everything, like cattles for everything.
Mm-hmm.
But when he's like, most of the time, I'm always like the one who I don't know. I usually say that I don't mind, but I don't know. I don't think that's really good.
No. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I think I'd rather the guy just puts in a bit more effort, I think.
Yeah.
Mm.
So again, in December, so after that, at that particular point, you're thinking about getting back together.
Mm-hmm.
So I go back to Mombasa because I'm still working in Mombasa, and I tell him like, if we're getting back together, we like have to move in, like we get a house. Okay, I'm really big.
So you said if we get together, we have to move in.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how to be in a relationship with someone when we're not together.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is, but I like when I see you every day and I wake up next to you every day.
So any opportunity to make that happen as quickly as possible, you would grab that by the horns.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do that immediately.
Yeah, it explains what happened. It explains what happened with the journalist, isn't it? You know, like you met on Tinder and immediately you were in there. Okay.
Yeah. So that is 2023. So we are speaking intermittently, thinking about getting a house. I asked him to like get a house. Remember the time we first spoke? I told you I'm thinking of moving to Nairobi.
Yes, I remember. Yes.
Yeah, we were looking for a house together.
Okay. I always wondered why you wanted to leave, because where you lived was nice, you know.
Yes, it was.
It's beautifully, you know, out of state. That's the kind of vibe I would go for if I was ever to live. And then going over to Nairobi. Nairobi's a city. You know, it's busy. It's nice here, but you know, given the option, I'd rather be where you were before. Okay. Yeah. So you're looking for a place together.
Yeah, and he just like disappears again. I'm like, okay, maybe this time he's also going through depression or something. But you know, like he got saved. Now he's like an assistant pastor in his church and all those things. He goes for like a prayer nights, things like those. So he's like really, really prayerful. And I can see like he's changed. And so at some point, drunk, and he tells me this girl who told me that she's pregnant and she's like giving birth in August, but I don't know if it's a baby. Like,
wait a minute. Wait a whole goddamn minute. This man of God now says to you that this girl rang me and she told me she's pregnant.
Yeah.
I'm going to be foolish and assume that she was just coming to talk to pastor to inform the pastor and she wants help. Please don't tell me otherwise. Why was she telling him this?
Because it's the pastor's child.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I have nothing to say.
So I do the calculation, and this child was conceived a week after I had been with him.
You know what scares me out of all of this stuff? It's not even the pregnancy, it's sexual health.
Yeah.
You know, that worries me a lot. It's something I think about whenever I'm around groups of friends who are talking about something that may be sexual, and I know they shouldn't be doing it. My first question was, what protection did you use?
Yeah.
Because I'd want to assume that they're using protection, but because this guy's getting people pregnant, yourself included, at some point, he was having it unprotected.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that's something that would have crossed your mind too, from Doliana's stuff and the girlfriend he had before. When you guys had sex the very first time, did you have it protected in the first instance?
No.
Okay. So there was never going to be a moment when you feel, okay, let's start now because the deed has already been done.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay.
And now, also after breaking up with Doliana was pregnant with the second baby.
Doliana was pregnant?
Yeah.
With the second baby? Do you know what? Some people take church too seriously when they hear the scripture that says, "Go ye therefore."
Yeah.
You know, and have children.
Yeah.
Be fruitful and multiply. I don't think that's what God was talking about.
No.
Wow. Okay. So now you find out that there's another pregnant woman in there.
Yeah. Now with this new girl, I was like, no. I was ready to compromise with Doliana, but no, I can't do this anymore because I don't know how many more children are going to be there.
Yeah. Remember, Doliana, you were prepared to be a mother.
Yeah. Yeah. So I come to Nairobi. I look for a house because initially we were like to move in together and I had already given notice to my former landlady.
Yeah.
So I needed to move out. And since I'd already made the decision I'm moving to Nairobi, I come and look for a house and move my things to Nairobi. Now, in July, I went for a trip in an island.
Yeah.
And during that trip, I fell sick. And there was a doctor on that spot. And he really helped me on that spot and gave me first aid and just made sure that I was okay. And when we came back to Mombasa, at that point I was still living in Mombasa.
Yeah.
There were this nationwide protests going on. So the next day,
I remember that.
The next day was 7th July, which is Sabasaba, which is the day where there was during the fight for independence, there was the biggest protest that led to us getting independence. So they were marking that. So he went to his hotel and told me I'm really scared in this hotel, but I'll be leaving very early in the morning. So I told him, if you feel that it's not safe there, you can come to my house. I have a 2-bedroom apartment. You can stay in the extra bedroom. I was like, that's really kind of you. Okay, but I'm okay. So the next day he leaves and he comes back to Nairobi. So when I'm coming to Nairobi to look for a house, he tells me, don't book an Airbnb. You can stay in my house. I have a 3-bedroom apartment. You can stay in my house. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But I really don't mind booking an Airbnb.
Yeah.
So he really insists on me coming to stay in his house, and I come.
Why are you laughing? Yeah, you come and then what?
I used a week to look for a house. I get a house. I pay for a house. I pay for that house.
Yeah.
I move my things from Mombasa to that house.
Yes.
So it was the full package. Movers who move and then they arrange. So your house is the way it was, the way it was in the previous house where you stayed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But remember that I came as a guest.
Yes.
But I'm still here now, not as a guest.
And how long has it been?
8 weeks.
What has happened?
A lot has happened, especially the past few days. And I told you, at the red flags, that there are many red flags, but at this point, I actually don't know why. I can see the problem, but I don't know why it's always really hard for me to make the decision. When I came, I have my own house. I can be in my own house, but I'm here because I work remotely at this point, so I'm just here. I don't commute to work or anything. So you see, I've been here 8 weeks. Things were really good. I think after I moved here, his birthday and my birthday are a few days apart. So we celebrated his birthday. Then he took me out for a birthday and like got me gifts and everything. But like there was like other women, and like every time I just like go somewhere, I'd find like a dress under like the in this bedroom. It's like been hidden away. Shoes have been hidden away, and like, okay, this is really strange. So I was like, okay, before me, there are definitely like were other people, but we've not had this discussion. So mid-August, I asked him, we need to have a discussion. We can't be living together. And we don't even know what we're doing because we're definitely like getting intimate. But with this one, there's protection. We've not gotten to that level yet where there's no protection. So I tell him like, we need to have a conversation. And he tells me like, I love you and you like are the type of person that I need, and I don't mind like staying with you, and I want you to stay with me because I really enjoy like when we are together. And like, okay. So last week, I don't another situation of Kantai, so I went through his phone and I found out the lady, he has a hospital. So his PA, they are in like an actual relationship. This lady is like older than him. So they are in an actual relationship. And since I'm really good with data analysis, he asked me to like help him with like hospital data and like just help with the doctors and documentation. So I did that. And yesterday they had like a training where I was invited to go and train the doctors on how to document for the patient. So I did that. And that other lady, I knew they're in a relationship. He didn't know that I knew they're in a relationship. And she didn't know we are in a relationship. So the lady, I sent my invoice for my services because I'm not definitely doing it for free. I sent my invoice, and the lady asked me if we could like discuss it before we leave. So we like sit down to discuss the invoice, and he's really uncomfortable. He leaves, and it was like at 7 p.m. yesterday. He leaves. He was really uncomfortable being with us. So I was like, okay, he knows like what's going on. That's why he's really uncomfortable. So when you're just sitting with the lady, I asked the lady like, where has he gone? And he's like, I don't know where he's gone, but I think he's still around. But I'm like, no, I think he's left. And I call him on my phone, and I'm like, hi, baby, where are you? And it's like, I've left.
In front of this woman? Is that what you said?
Yes.
You're a little shit stirrer, aren't you? Okay. Yeah, okay.
And I tell him, when you come home, could you like please come with fruits? And it's like, okay. So when I hung up, the lady asked me, who are you talking to? And like, I'm talking to my man. And it's like, who's your man? I'm like, the one who just left. It's like, okay, are you guys like together? I'm like, yeah, we are together. Like, oh, you live together? Like, yes, we live together. So she like became very inquisitive and like was asking questions. So this lady didn't know we are together because he didn't tell her. So yeah, she was really upset.
And she found out yesterday?
Yes.
So how has it been in the house ever since?
When he came home at night, he told me like it's fine, he doesn't mind. And he said that the lady, I know it's a lie, but he said that the lady likes him, but he didn't see that. And they are not in a relationship, and the lady is like married. So I told him, but if you saw that he likes you, you should have had a conversation with her.
Yeah.
And I kept, like, the lady was really upset. I saw the messages that she sent him, like all the messages, and she even like sent her resignation letter.
Wow.
Yeah.
You don't look too unhappy about that though.
No, I'm not.
So I remember you sent a message saying that you see the red flags, you know the red flags, you know the end is coming, but you're just hanging around.
Yeah. I don't know why that is, because I can already see the end of this relationship would be the infidelity. That would definitely be the end of this relationship.
So
That would,
so how much of that are you willing to tolerate before you decide to leave?
I don't know. Now with this lady, I don't know. He went like to work today, and since she was his PA and like sent the resignation letter, I was waiting for him to like come today and like tell me like what went down. I definitely confirmed from his phone what exactly went down.
Sounds like you're gonna be back on the episode on the podcast sooner than we imagined. At this rate, Jesu wangu. But I guess I'm just gonna rope it back to what this originally was about, which was Kantai, who's no longer in the picture. Obviously because you can't deal with the infidelities made somebody else pregnant.
Yeah.
And that relationship is done and dusted.
Yeah.
I just hope he doesn't hit you with the same charm that he's hit you in the past. And that perhaps, this sense of belonging that is yours to have, I think really needs to come to the fore. And, I think it's there in the lessons that you're talking about, especially number 4, to say life is for the living, for yourself and for no one else.
Yeah.
Right. I think you are doing that. You're living for yourself, but there seems to be a strong dependency on how the other person is making that realization come to life and that whole thing come to fruition. I don't know what that's embedded in. I didn't ask about what your relationship is like with your siblings, especially brothers, if they're there. You got brothers?
I don't have. No, I actually have one brother and very many sisters, but I don't have any relationship with my family at this point. So it's just me.
Yeah, okay. I can see how that will play out in some of the things that are happening. It's that sense of belonging. Everybody wants to belong somewhere.
Yeah.
Even if you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, one of the things that's right at the beginning is to feel love.
Yeah.
To feel love, to feel secure, to have food, shelter, to feel protected is one of the most fundamental things. In the absence of those, you can't go up to the next level because that foundation is shaky. Lerato, that is one wild episode. Yeah, I feel like you need to, keep me in the loop with how it's going with your entrepreneur right now. Keep me in the loop with how that is going. But I'll just play your lessons back just to wrap this up. Unless you had something more you wanted to share about Kantai.
No, at this particular point, we don't talk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he's like sends messages from time to time. He called me yesterday because now we both live in Nairobi, but we've never met.
Yeah.
And I made that clear that we can't do that with baby number 3 in the picture.
Well, you really don't deserve that. And it's not just number 3 in the picture. Eh? It's number 3 plus all of the other potential children that could come. And you just don't need that trouble. You really don't.
Yeah.
Right, play black. Lesson number 1. A lot of the problems in the world will disappear if you talk to each other instead of talking about each other or talking at each other. You know what? Let's just start with the ex whose bedroom you left on the day that you met Kantai. If you felt it wasn't working, it's really healthy just to say to someone, hey, look, this relationship is not serving me. It's not meeting me at my point of need. Have that conversation. Would have saved you a whole lot of trouble, which is him finding out stuff from your phone, and then Kantai running off for a whole day because he thinks that Isaac is your ex. It just spares you a whole heap of trouble, doesn't it? And also if Kantai was honest enough to say to you, hey, look, back home I've got, somebody else who I've done stuff with, and even when he was doing his pastoral stuff, just be open, just be transparent. Number 2, refuse to internalize feelings that weren't yours to begin with. Explain that.
So you see, when Kantai was disowned with his dad, I carried a lot of that pain and the baggage for him.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah. I get you. That's a really good one. Number 3, Now I get this one. We are most alive when we're in love. Hey, yeah, girl. Yeah. You're alive. And it's funny that your name, Lorato, actually means love. So we're most alive when we're in love. And then last but not least, life is for living for yourself and for no one else. I couldn't say that anymore. Yeah. Look after number one. And sometimes that also involves just being by yourself.
Yeah.
Looking after number one and attracting the right energy that will come and pursue you, and they'll be the first one to come to you and be very open about what they want and do the things that you just feel like a princess. And then if you feel you want to do anything else, it's complementary to what's being given by somebody else already in the first place.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. I know it's taken us a few weeks to get here, but I'm grateful again for the patience and the time. And you guys have been listening to another episode of The Feeling Station. I'm your host, Tinto, and I will catch you in next week's episode.
Tell me what you're feeling.
Satis on Daru Raini and Chake Zain.
Tell me what you're feeling. Now that it's over.
Satis on Daru Raini and Chake Zain.
Let me talk about my feelings. Let me talk about my feelings, yeah.
Urudoi motoru no to kujiziru amai.
Love is a fire.
Urudoi motoru no to kujiziru amai.